Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Salesforce Step by Step. My name is Dattaraj Deshmukh and today is our very first tutorial on this channel. Purpose of this channel is to share learnings and to provide step-by-step instructions for out-of-the-box Salesforce configurations, features, functionalities. Today's topic is how to send legitimate emails from Salesforce and how to prevent them going into spam. For purpose of this video, I'm going to assume that you have some experience of working on Salesforce platform in some capacity. Now you could be a consultant, developer, admin, or a Salesforce customer who is also doing the admin job for your company. Now let's understand the scenario first. To give a bit of context, say you're an admin of your company and your management is looking to expand their Salesforce capabilities. Thus, I've asked you to create a customer community so that your customers can collaborate and engage with your company and its products. As an admin, you have implemented a community and now you are all set to invite your customers onto it. Now, let's go through the procedure of adding contact and then inviting that contact onto your community. Let's go. First, go to an account, create a contact. Let's say Ravi Gupta is a gentleman who is working this invoice store and you are inviting this person onto your community. Let's see how that email will look like. The contact is created, customer user, good. All right, we have created a customer user now. Let's see how that email will appear in Ravi Gupta's email box. All right, so now that I've got an email, uh, now let's look at this email which has been sent to Ravi Gupta from the admin of our company. Now there are a couple of red flags and immediate red flags on this email. First, and the first obvious one is definitely the message from the Google saying this email could be a spam. Now, if I'm a Ravi Gupta, I would be definitely not clicking any of the links specified in this email. And even if it's a legitimate email from the company that I work with or partner with, say, for example, in this case, our admin's company, I would still not click any of those links because the message Google is clearly indicating that this could be a spam. Now, also, if you look, also notice the header of this email over here. If you look at, so here there are some random characters and then added in front of the header, suffix with salesforce.com. Now, as a customer, I wouldn't know what is salesforce.com is. All I would care is whether this email is sent from the company that I work with or I work for, and that's it. So for me, as Ravi Gupta, I wouldn't know, or maybe I might not be aware of the Salesforce.com and its functionalities or what it is. So definitely, I could, there are high chances that I'll be moving these email into my spam or junk, or I'll probably delete this right away, even if the message was not there from the Google. So how can we how can we improve this? So there are a couple of ways, and also I forgot to mention one more thing, that if you notice the from email address, it accidentally exposed the user's email ID. Um, instead of an organization. So for all practical purpose, this could be like no reply at the rate mylearnings.com or no reply at the rate somedomain.com, and then it would be more legitimate and it would appear uh, as if that email was actually sent by that company or from that domain. So yeah, so three things. One is we can remove this message from Google, so that Google doesn't uh, indicate that this email is a spam, and actually basically it validates our email. There is room for improvement for that. The second one is removing these extra characters from the email header, that is from the form field, and also replacing this email ID with the organization's generic email ID or any email address of the choice of the organization. Now let's see how can we do that. Now, first thing first, let's fix our email address for the community. Now, you can do that in two ways. Either you can set the organization wide email address, wherein that email address will be shared by everyone from the organization, or you can also, if you have different email address, you can also set it up for your community. For example, I'll go to the community builder, administration, emails. Here you can change your email address. So in this case, I will do Salesforce step by step.com. Now, one thing to keep in mind that verification email will be sent to this email address, so that you need to be careful when you add this email address that you or someone in your company need to have access to inbox of this email ID so that it can be verified. Now in this case, I have specified no reply at the rate salesforce step-by-step.com. So I'll go ahead and I will log into my email client. Yeah, here it is. We'll update this. That's it. So email is updated. Okay, now we have solved one part of the problem. Now let's look at the second part. Now there are a couple of ways to remove that indication of spam whenever an email is sent out of the Salesforce. So either we can have an email relay, wherein we can set up our Exchange or our Google, uh, where we can relay all our emails from, or we can have a DKIM, we can have a SPF, Secure Policy Framework, or we can have a DMARC. So for this video, I will be implementing the DKIM solution. So how can we do that? So type in DKIM in the quick find. In manage DKIM keys, click on create new key. Now for the simplicity, I'll leave the default key size, and in a selector you can type any name of your choice. For example, okay, Salesforce step by step email fix. That's it. Salesforce step fix 2. Domain is the domain that you have mentioned or you want to have, by which you're assigning this key. So in this case, Salesforce step-by-step.com. And for the simplicity, I'll just match the exact domain. Now, if you notice, Salesforce is publishing text, that is txt records, for this DKIM key to DNS. So I'll just refresh this page. All good. Salesforce, now that Salesforce has published the txt records for this DKIM key to DNS, what we need to do is we need to go to our DNS setting and add these two entries to our DNS, so that it what 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 basically happens is, whenever an email is sent from Salesforce, uh, then that email is signed by this domain, that is Salesforce step by step.com in this case, and it says that yes, this email was, it's been signed by Salesforce step by step.com, and it's a legitimate email. Now, as a part of as a part of fixing this, what we need to do is we need to go to the DNS over here. So I've already logged into my domain and the setup of my domain. So I'll go to details, or probably I'll go to DNS here, and all I need to do is I need to create these two CNAME records. Now how I do it, I click add record, select the CNAME, and this configuration would be typically almost available typically almost in all the setup, or even if your uh, domain your domain team should be able to do this configuration for you. So over here, what we need to do is, for the first part, now this is very important here. For the host name, we need to select the first part, which is the selector up until domain key here. And for the second part, oops, we need to select this one and add it as a points to. I'll click save and do this exercise one more time for the selector, alternate selector. So I'll do the same exercise for the alternate selector. Key, key, yes. We'll click save. That's it. Our two entries now added. Now, if you notice here, this activate button is disabled at the moment. So what's happening behind the scene is Salesforce will be matching this this DKIM key, this TXT record of the DKIM key with the CNAME record set up in the DNS. And once it find match, then this activate button is enabled. Now that is enabled for you, let's go ahead and click activate. Now, if you notice here, the message from Salesforce is, if this key is activated, Salesforce will sign emails for the domain using this key. So what it essentially means is, all the emails going out of the Salesforce for this org will be signed using this key. Okay, so now that it's activated, let's go and add one more youth contact and activate that contact as a user. For some reason it's not activated yet. Activate it again. I'll create this contact on the same account. It's Ravi Gupta. Jones. Now that contact is created, now let's go ahead and enable the user. So here, here, the email welcome is sent to Sarah Jones now. Let's see how that email appears in Sarah's inbox. Yep. Now that I have received this email uh, for the user Sarah, now look at this email. It appears cleaner than earlier and it appears legitimate. Also, Google did not indicate that this email is a potential spam. So Sarah is confident that this email has really originated from the company that she works for or is partner with, and she can be confident on clicking this email. Clicking this link. Now let's look at the other parts of this email. Now, if you notice the headers, you would notice that first thing first is this email address. Now, the individual users or person email address is replaced with the something generic, no reply at the Salesforce step-by-step.com. Also, you would notice that there are no more random characters suffixed with salesforce.com in front of this from field. Also, you would notice that there is, yes, it's still there, mailed by salesforce.com, but there's one more field added in this header which is signed by, and which says that this email is signed by Salesforce step-by-step.com. Now, as a user, I will be more comfortable on clicking the links in this email because I can see that it's not indicated as a spam from the Google. B, it has come from the email address indicating that it is coming from the company. And C, I can see as an end user, I can also see something like a signed by. Now this is really the uh, part of the educating the customers, but because of these different components, I will be okay to click on this link. I will not worry about this email. So that's it for the today. Please let me know of any feedback and try it out in your developer edition. Thank you.